Hi, I'm Rajesh Pahari, and let me talk about what I did on this presentation. So the aim on this presentation is to be able to look at the available data set, understand the data set, form up some questions. Those are data analysis goals, and try to find those answers for the data analysis goals through data analysis. Let's look at the data set that I'm going to utilize. The data set is the one by City of Dallas regarding vendor payments made during the fiscal year of 2019. And on the data set, we have 999 rows and 21 uh, columns or attributes. And as we can see, we see the vendor attribute, we see the check subtotal attribute, that's the payment made for the specific item towards the vendor. We have some for the department and so on. So the first step here was to do data cleaning. One of the things I did was there is a column called FY for fiscal column, and the value was 2019 for all of them. So I thought it's not needed, so I got rid of that. And there's another column called run date. It has time, that's 0:00 for all of them. So I decided to get rid of 0:00, so it only shows the date. Likewise, when I do the additional analysis, I have created like extra tabs depending on which specific columns I need. And let's look at some of the questions that I came up with and how I solved those. So one data analysis goal was to figure out which zip code had highest number of vendors for the whole year. The answer was 75201, and I have noted down the formula that I used over there. Likewise, I checked if they made multiple payments to the same vendors, and I was able to see that the answer was yes. The way I did is I created a table with all the data, sorted it in ascending order of the vendor code, and we over there we see multiple duplication of V code that says that same vendor was paid several times. And another question I came up with was which department seems to require most frequent number of transactions to be made, and the answer was DWU, and we did that by sorting in ascending order as well. And the next question I came up with was which funding type category uh, is the highest amount of vendor cost incurred, and over there the answer was general funding. We did like similar thing for as funding type, and then the chart was drawn on the drawn chart. We see that the general fund was the one using the most amount of vendor cost. Let's go to the next slide. I came up with the next question. What is the total funding made during the fiscal month 11? So in order to do that, I what I did was I utilized this formula: sum if fiscal month equal to 11 amounts. So that means I'm only adding things when the fiscal month was 11, and that gave me the value for that one. So the next question I came up with was which was the most frequent used commodity code. I applied the formula that's a combination of index and match, and the answer to this was registration fees. And so I did something similar to find out how many vendor transactions were made in the month of fiscal month 11. The answer was 495. And likewise, we found out the most frequent activity was water treatment, and the count of unique number of vendors that took payment during the fiscal month 11 was 494. And likewise, we use the VLOOKUP function to find out what the activity INV1 refers to, and apparently it refers to entertainment industry marketing. So these are now when moving on to the next slide. So we try to find the answers to the remaining data analysis goals, for example, which are the most occurring department. So we drew a pivot chart and pivot table and pivot chart and sorted the data in ascending order. And from there, we can see that DWU was the most occurring department. And yeah, we drew the pivot table and chart to find the most frequently occurring zip code, and that's 75201. And next thing we did was we tried to find the answer which are the most occurring commodity, and we see from the pivot table that it is a registration fee. And here we're trying to find the amount spent in fiscal month 11. We draw the pivot table over here as well and the pivot chart. From here, we see that the total on fiscal month 11 is 3110841. The next question we came up with was what is the list of unique department that vendor Atmos Energy deals with? And what we did was we filtered and cleaned up sub data set with reference to Atmos Energy and department, and we see that there are 5 departments that the vendor Atmos Energy deals with. And on module 3, during the model 3, I came up with this data analysis goal. What is the total number of transactions on each day of the week throughout the year? So what I did was I created additional row named weekday. So from where I utilize I just find the day number 1 to 7. Likewise, I use a formula to convert the day number into day and save it into the column called day of week. And next thing we do is we create a pivot table and pivot chart over there. Like we see the counts for each of the days. And based on that, we can say that Saturday we had most amount of spending. Okay, what is the frequency of different amount of payments? So here, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do a histogram plot for different kind of payments made on some days throughout the whole year, and that's how it looks like. Now on the next data analysis goal, we are trying to determine what's the statistics for spending throughout the year, and we come up with the mean, median, all those statistics, and from the result we can see that is positively skewed because the value free skewness is 14.12. That means most values on the spending lies towards the left of the median, or more is less than the median. So after we do all this data analysis, like let's think about how this data analysis can help City of Dallas. So one of the ways it can help City of Dallas is it helps identify all the zip codes within the city and trying to see if any zip code is getting any special treatment as compared to other. So this can help in decision making. Likewise, it can help identify if any vendor is getting more payment compared to others. Then we can do like deep dive and see if there was, that's due to lack of competition or other factor, or if it's because the vendor is really good and so it deserves the amount of spending we do for that particular vendor. Likewise, we can see if spending is great on a particular day as compared to other day. So maybe the reason behind that is the work is not being equally distributed in all days, and if that's something that needs to be considered. Likewise, we can also see if any department is making more spending compared to other, and if it needs more resources, or if that's just some misutilization of resources. So these are the things the data analysis could help with. And likewise, I'd like to talk about the skill learned and used. So some of them are creating range names, utilizing lookup functions, index functions, match functions, using pivot tables and slicers to describe data. Um, Another is date functions were applied to gather the required date information, and then text functions were used. Thank you so much.